I love Eeveelutions, and I love fake Pokemon types. So I'm putting them all together. Something we are yet to cover on this channel are fake Pokemon types. As the name suggests, these are fan-made Pokemon types that are not real. In Pokemon, there are 18 official types, but there are dozens upon dozens upon dozens of fake types out there, all with their own type effectiveness and design elements. A lot of the fan-made types out there fit in very well with the existing official types. Some of them drawing parallels to one another, but then there are also just a lot of, more creatively charged types, if you will, but I love them all the same. Eevee is a pretty popular Pokemon and serves as Pokemon's secondary mascot. The defining feature of Eevee is that it is able to evolve into multiple different Pokemon, each of a different type. In the early days, it was pretty simple. Waterstone made Vaporeon, Thunderstone made Jolteon, and Firestone made Flareon. The later additions to this Eeveelutionary family were a little more complicated to obtain. You know, you gotta take it to a secluded rock covered in green sludge or force feed it curries until it loves you oh so much. So I thought it would be a lot of fun to try my hand at a few new Eeveelutions, as well as using them to show my interpretation of how a few very common fake types could be applied in Pokemon design. Alright, cue the drawing segment. First Eeveelution is going to be a light type. Also, yes, this is a little VTuber I made in the corner here. I was trying something out with like a live recording and I wasn't vibing with it, so just ignore him, he'll disappear, don't worry. Light type Fakemon are pretty commonly characterized as being radiant, emitting light, perhaps being of the sun, stars, or other celestial bodies. They often draw parallels with the fairy type with their whimsical nature and design elements, but have more of a pointy aesthetic, I guess, as if they emulated beaming light in its purest form. Some existing Pokemon that could be easily regarded as light type would be Xerneas, Necrozma, of course, Chinchou and Lantern, as well as potentially Staryu, Starmie, Volbeat, Morlul, and Shiinotic, as they all have the Illuminate ability. I guess Watchog also has it, but I don't really like it. I don't like Watchog. Is that controversial? I should probably move on. For my precious light Eeveelution, I wanted to incorporate a star-like design and also have it take on a more modern Eeveelution style like we see in Sylveon. It has wide eyes, a lot of decals on its body, and many poofy tufts of fur. I'm just saying, if we have a new type plus Eeveelution drop in Gen 10, then this could be pretty likely, guys. The color palette is fairly straightforward, just various hues of yellow. I wanted them to be yellow enough that it read as a light type, but also not so pale that it looked like a ground type or any other kind of sandy creature. The other challenge was also to not make it too yellow, you know, otherwise I'd be treading on PV territory, and I don't really want to end the year on that note. On the tips of the ears, I added some accents which were sort of reminiscent of light rods or perhaps some other illuminating feature. They kind of gave me Ampharos vibes, which Ampharos would make another good light type. I then filled in the other accents, colored in the eyes, and then I was ready to move on to the next little guy. Enter Cosmic Eevee. I did struggle a little bit to get the right pose, but I eventually got something I liked in the end. The Cosmic type is a little bit controversial, guys. You see, a lot of people just disregard it as a clone of the Psychic type, but like, how is that fair when we're living in a world where rock and ground type Pokemon can coexist? My hot take is that the Cosmic type is different enough. It's a good type concept. Don't knock it until you try it. I don't think that makes sense in this context. Don't hate the Cosmic type. It's kind of cool. Where my light type Eeveelution adopted a pretty modern design, my Cosmic type Eeveelution is more classic looking. It's got a bit of a Gen 2 vibe going on. It actually bears a striking resemblance to Umbreon in its shape and I guess demeanor. Although unlike Umbreon, I gave this little guy more slender ears and a big old ball for the tail, like a crystal ball, you know, like a psychic would read on. Wait a minute. The color palette is a deep midnight blue, or purple. I actually kind of forgot what color I used, and I'm too colorblind to just look at it and know what color it is, so please let me know in the comments because I'm stumped. It's blue or purple, but it's a midnight color, so there's that. I didn't give it any tousled fur or additional decals on its body. I wanted it to remain fairly simplistic because the Eeveelutions of that generation are also nice and slick. Goes to show they don't always have to have something crazy going on. Although to make up for its simplicity in its body shape, I did give it some star-like patterns on its fur, which give it a nebulous look. That's a word I learned in last week's video. I finished up some final accent details before moving on to our final Eeveelution, the sound type. I tried to say that really loud, but I can't really do that because it is midnight, so maybe I should keep it down. But I guess it doesn't really matter what volume I say that in because it's still me making sound at the end of the day. Oh my goodness, you know what? Maybe I should do more action, less talking. Great suggestion, by the way, thank you. Whenever I think of a sound type Pokemon, I naturally just think of the Pokemon that generate sound. Obviously, the Jigglypuff, Whismur, and Chimecho families, Chatot, Bronzong, Meloetta, Primarina, Rillaboom, just to name a few. I commonly see people, when they design sound type Fakemon, incorporate stuff like musical notes or instruments in their designs, and I really like the idea of that, so I decided to put my own spin on that design trope with this Eeveelution. Basically, it's a creature that is constantly growling and screaming. It's a screaming king. It's one of the more rambunctious Eeveelutions, I would say. I made sure it was mid-scream in its artwork, of course, and I also gave it a maraca for its tail. I did also try a bell and a rattlesnake tail tip, but those ideas just didn't look good, like, at all, so maraca it is. When I was coloring it in, I had no idea what color would scream sound type, so I did some surface level searching online and found that grey, blue, or orange were the most commonly chosen colors to represent the sound type. I decided on orange, and when I was blocking in the primary colors, it kinda hit me. What if I added spots and made it like a cheetah, or a leopard, or another just ambiguous jungle cat? Either way, it was fun to sort of make it look a bit more ferocious than the other Eeveelutions, feral even. It almost strikes me as a past paradox form, but that's not the aim in this video, so we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. Alas, I arrived at the penultimate task of polish work. I love polishing sometimes. These designs gave me some grief, especially with shading and highlighting. I think because my color palettes were incredibly vibrant this time around, they just looked almost plasticky, but then again, it may just be my art style tastes. I do tend to prefer the Gen 5 and 6 style Pokemon art because I think it has the right amount of roughness and polish to it. The colors used in those generations are also just incredibly pleasant to the eye, or to my eye at least. They're colorful but not too saturated, and nothing is really washed out. These artworks are a bit more Gen 7/Gen 9. The colors are a bit more artificial, and the shading and highlighting is more opaque, leaving them looking like renders of a figurine or something. I don't know. Let's take a look at the final artworks, and then you can let me know what you think in the comments. So, first up, we have Beamion, the smiling Pokemon. It is a light type that evolves from Eevee once it is exposed to a sunstone. It has the ability Bright Smile, which lowers the evasiveness of all opposing Pokemon when it is sent out in battle. Its hidden ability is Merciless. Next, we have Novion, the celestial Pokemon. It is a cosmic type that evolves from Eevee when it is brought to the highest peak in its respective region. For example, Glaciado Mountain in Paldea, I have no idea how to say that one, or the top of Rose Tower in Galar. It has the ability Infiltrator and the hidden ability Opportunist. And lastly, it is Shrillion, the growling Pokemon. It is a sound type that evolves from Eevee upon level up after it uses the move Growl a total of 20 or more times in battle. It has the abilities Surround Sound sound, which causes other Pokemon sound type moves to just always fail. It also has the hidden ability Echoed Roar, which makes its moves hit twice. So those are my Eeveelutions using completely fake Pokemon types. I hope you like them. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I upload new videos every Fakemon Friday or Saturday if you live on Mirage Island just like me. But next week I am taking the week off. I'm going to be very busy celebrating the new year and also just relaxing before I have to go back to my day job, so the next video won't be until the second week of January. I just want to say a massive thank you for watching my videos this year. I literally only started uploading in June and now I'm already past 3,000 subscribers and like over 100,000 total video views. It's honestly so wild to think about how fast this channel is growing and how many of you guys are watching and enjoying the videos. I've always been so passionate about Fakemon and I've been making them for like almost 10 years now, so it's super exciting as a creator just to have this fun little outlet to keep, I don't know, honing my craft and sharing off my work as I progress. I have some very exciting Fakemon things planned for 2025. Some of you have been asking about my Fakedex series and all about that, so I've got ways to share all of that and also maybe a special announcement coming soon. So I hope you're all excited for that, because I know I am. Anyways, I gotta say goodbye, otherwise I will ramble on indefinitely and you'll never get rid of me. So thank you again for subscribing and for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a happy new year. See you next year.